listen only mode.
Hello everyone. Hi, this is Souradeep here and very much welcome to this weekend post-market session. This is Souradeep. This session is taken by me and Vivek sir, and we take half an hour each. So for the first half an hour, I will share my outlook for the market next week and follow up what we have said last week, and we will say that what market looks next week. And also after this, Vivek sir will share his view. So all those who are in the TMP or who are in the club, that is StockEdge Social, they can ask us questions later in that platform. In this platform, because this is a half an hour presentation each, it is very difficult to take a lot of questions, and that's why it is mostly a monologue. So I'm telling this for those who are new to this session, attending this session first time. We don't take we are not able to take questions in this session, but I will share my view about the market, and Vivek sir will share his view about the market after me. Okay, so let me start. So if I let me start, and there is no better place to start than the Nifty. Okay, so we had a Nifty view, like when we saw this head and shoulder pattern in the Nifty, and I indicated that in my Twitter also I indicated. So let me show you that in my Twitter also. So if you go to my profile, so you will see that earlier on 18th of November, uh, I had posted this, and I had posted it in the club, that is the social platform, and to the TMP students also, that this head and shoulder was breaking, beginning to form, and beyond 17,600 we would be probably going towards this 16,600. Okay, now if we look at the same chart today, if we look at the same chart today, and that is what I posted also later, that if I look at the same chart today, today market is actually following that line for last 8-10 days. What we were telling, that this may possibly break and we will go. What we had on the Monday to this week is that this big red candle, when this if I go to this chart for a second. So this big red candle, which actually broke this 17,600 and took price to almost 17,200. Now 17,200 was actually, if I go to the weekly chart, you will understand it was a mid Bollinger, and I was optimistic that this would hold. So you can see that 210, 215 is the level. Today it has come down to 197, but that time it was 210. So I was optimistic that this should hold for the timing. But what happened is that the market also tried to held that level for a couple of days. If I look at the daily chart, market also for 3 days were trying to negotiate with this level and trying to go. And I was quite optimistic that we may again see a level of maybe 600, 700, and then we may fall. Okay, but market actually went to 600 also, but could not breach above. Yesterday though was a bullish day, but today the news that we are having globally is that there is a scare of a new variant, that is the South African variant, that is actually rocking the global market. Okay, so are you able to, sorry, I forgot to ask are you able to see the screen and hear my voice? Yeah, great. Thanks Pradeep ji, thanks Anand ji, thanks. Yeah, so today what it did, let me come back to the chart itself. So it has breached, and if I plot the 200 DMA now 100 DMA is gone. So let me spot simple moving average, and if I sorry, let me plot the moving average. Yeah. And if I put the 200 DMA, I'm putting the not the exponential one, putting the simple one, but won't be much different anyways. So we can understand that this level is around 16,080. Okay, though I am not a very fan of big fan of moving averages, but in terms of when we are looking in terms of the index, especially the broader index, they actually do matter, and we can see that we are falling in the way. If though I think that this is a busier thing to market to react to this. uh, okay, so if I go to the worldometer chart once again. So I'm going to the worldometer corona COVID virus chart. See, yesterday you can see there were 5,71,000 cases, and I am sharing this data with my TMP students. There was 5,71,000 cases, and out of that, Europe accounted for 4,11,000 cases. Okay, now what they're getting scared of suddenly is the South African variant, which WHO is saying that is highly infectious. But what is it? What has it done to South Africa? Only 2,400 cases. And if you come to Europe, we are having 76,000 cases in Germany and in many other places. So this chaos or this panic seemed to me a little bit overblown, and that is why it is very difficult. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. So it looks to me a little bit overblown, and that is why I'm skeptical that once the WHO meeting is over, there would be a little bit bounce in the market. Okay, a little bit of a bounce in the market, and we will take it from there. And it may possibly, if the scare is nothing, it may then go above this 17,200 level mid Bollinger, and then try to pull back. Or if the bearishness continues, so for next week, have this in your mind. I'm making it 100 DMA. Okay, so for the next week, you will see at this level, which is coming to around 17,100. So if market sustains above 17,100, you can expect a really strong pullback, at least towards this 70,277, which is 5-day low EMA, and then possibly towards this 70,577 high 5-day high DMA. But if it sustains below this 17,100 level, then as this head and shoulder actually is indicating, we may fall towards the 16,000. 16,655. Okay, which is around 16,000 roughly. Okay, so have this in mind for the next week. I don't think next week only it is very difficult to break 16,655. uh, if it breaks, you know that 16,100 is the level. I'm not expecting that much of a fall right now, okay, to be honest. But market can fall to 16,655 if there is bearishness in the market. I don't think after everything is clear, after the WHO meeting is done, global market would have this kind of a fall. And you can see the Dow Jones itself, though Dow Jones is close today, uh, has come back to this important support level and trying to bounce back from this important level of 34,800. Okay, so though it is bearish at this moment because of the COVID news, but I don't think, personally, I don't think that it will be a very big deal, and people may actually try to, once it is discussed, may try to. And if it is a big deal, you know that if 17 it stays below 17,100, then play for the bearish move. Okay, now one very important thing we need to look at, that how Nifty is doing in terms of global market at present scenario. See, I told you that one very important thing, even in the last session, that if I go back to this dollar index chart, and I'm going back here, see, my target was 97.65. It would have gone there unless this COVID news had come. Okay, so the charts got distorted. Okay, so what happened is that dollar index has pulled back. Okay, after this news, but if dollar index would have continued northward motion, and which it was doing, what the global market, that all the emerging markets, see the MOEX is Russian market, KOSPI is the uh, Korean market, which is another emerging market, Brazil, Ivor-Vespa. Nikkei is a 2025, Nikkei 225 is a Japanese market, though it is a developed market, and Nifty, then Hang Seng, then China, then TASI. So all the emerging markets are doing badly. And if you see uh, Dow Jones, you cannot compare, because Dow Jones, since the point of October, is positive, because today, these 2 days, Dow Jones is closed. If Dow Jones would have been open, then Dow Jones would be also down a little bit, but still you can see the CAC, DAC, TA35, this is CAC, DAX, and US 100, this NASDAQ, the developed market are doing good when this dollar rally is happening globally. Okay, so this dollar is a very important thing. Okay, and US government yields are more or less balanced. Now, light crude oil, I need to mention one thing. Once this was broken, price came to the 75 level, and then people were expecting US to force OPEC to actually release oil, but they tried to force, but it did not actually uh, materialize. And though US tried to release only 50 million barrels over many months, and that is 0.2 million barrels per day, where the global consumption is around 97, 98 million barrels. So 0.2 million barrel per day did not make any difference, and crude oil actually jumped. And I was expecting this 79 to be breached, and eventually it go to 81, 82. And suddenly the news came today. So this is an 8-hourly chart. If I make it a daily chart, you will understand the gigantic move. So I was expecting an up move from here, and suddenly, because US market was closed, so the up move did not happen yesterday, and suddenly today, due to this COVID news, this has fallen back. So as you can see that these levels are very important. Okay, these levels are very important, 73 to 72.50. So these levels are important. If these levels are held and this COVID scares just goes away, we may see a bounce in it. And if the COVID scare is there, oil may fall to 67. Okay, because there was a rounding top formation, and 67 is the target. So towards that level, oil can fall. But this is a risk of scenario. So this fall in oil will be very transitory. Okay, because oil is possibly destined to bounce back, because the demand supply situation is like that. This is only happening due to the temporary COVID scare that is going on all around the market. Okay, so you should understand that even though the oil is falling, this is only temporary, and due to this risk of kind of a scenario, Indian market won't benefit from this falling oil. Okay, now if I'm not going deep into Elliott waves, but you all of you know that when the market was at around this 14,400, who were attached to us for a long time. I have this tweet as my just a second. I had this tweet as my uh, that 16th April. I said that, showing this, that possibly when this price was 40,600, we are heading towards 18K by Diwali. Thankfully, market made this uh, level, and based on this Elliott wave calculation, I decided this. Market went above this, and then market is trying to fall, and it is a kind of a 5-wave structure. I expect market here to fall towards around 16,600 level, and then possibly we may see a bounce, and then we may see a further fall towards 16,000. So that is the way AV. Right now we are having the wave A, B, C, or it can be subdivided. So Elliott wave is a subjective. Right now I can see one A, then B, and then C, or this can be part of a larger move and then pull back and then we can fall. So wave subdivide, we will have to analyze. It cannot be said definitively in a definitive manner that how big this correction, because these are called impulse waves, so and these are called corrective waves, ABC. The impulse waves are much easier to calculate, and I was quite uh, sure that 17,600 to 19,000 in between there was this top is going to be formed, and I indicated that also at that time. And I have not touched this chart after this, and this remains in the same way, and that's why we can see that it made a top. Possibly we are going to 16,600. So I indicated many times to my TMP members to actually lighten their portfolio, and move in more of a cash mode. And right now, if I look at the indices, okay, this is the India Indian indices, okay, and I will look for 23rd, 22nd, okay. So when the week start, okay, so you see initially this week metals actually bounced back, but in this week only indices, those are in positive, are CNX Pharma. Because of the COVID scare today, Pharma had a great day. Okay, and USD INR, we can leave that USD INR because it is going up because of the dollar strength. And finally, CNX Media for the Z Entertainment. Okay, so now at this moment, you have to understand that. Just give me a moment, I will come back. Yeah, I'm sorry. So we can see that CNX Pharma is doing well. CNX Media only due to Z. So last week also I discussed the stock of Z's chart. Okay, so this is the Z Entertainment chart. So I said that once it goes above 336, it would bounce and possibly go to 360. It is trying to show that bounce. Okay, and all the pharma stocks. Okay, if I look at, I gave this stock as a on the buying side today. So Glenmark Pharma, which actually hit stop loss, so there was a pullback due to the massive selling. But all pharma stocks looks to be just emerging from this range and trying to go up. It is Cipla, okay, then Thyrocare. Thyrocare is for testing of blood testing and other things. So it is trying to go up. If I tell you, this is Apollo Hospitals. So this is trying to go up here, but actually failed. But all are trying to go up. If I talk to you, Torin Pharma, so this is trying to go up. Just a second. So you can see that these you can see that this pharma stocks are trying to go up. If I talk to you about Davis Labs, they are trying to go up on this news. I don't know how long they will sustain, because this happened only due to this news of COVID. If the news is valid, they may sustain, but otherwise it is very difficult to say that how long they will sustain. Okay, another stock that we gave today is this escorts to TMP students, and escorts actually closed well above the breakout point. Possibly can go higher because there is an open offer at 2000 price, so can go towards 2000. Okay, apart from that, I think, because like Vivek sir, I am also a fan of IT sector, so I personally think that IT won't fall much. Okay, So this is a feeling. Okay, this is not a technical view I am saying, but I personally think that IT maximum may fall 2-3% more here, and IT is here to bounce because if the rupee dollar is weakening due to this global risk of IT as a defensive, and if I talk to you, Nifty FMCG to some extent will come back. So look at these stocks. Nifty FMCG had a bad day. If I go to the weekly chart, uh, had a bad day. So cannot say about FMCG, but Nifty IT still looks a better index. Everything looks very bearish. That if I go to the all the indices, so Nifty realty looks horrible today. Uh, okay, can pull back if fall below 486. Okay, everything looks bearish today, apart from maybe little bit about IT. Okay, Nifty Bank, the worst index, because Nifty Bank has 38% weightage into the index and falling like this. Even Reliance, I showed you that there was a head and shoulder formation in Reliance, and if Reliance on a weekly basis closed below 2377, I have shown that it can come to 2200. Okay, then Nifty uh, Auto had a devastating week and possibly coming near the support, but we have to see what it does. Okay, uh, Nifty Mid Cap had a bad week, possibly near support and can fall once it is broken. Nifty small cap 100 had a bad week but still near support. Nifty Bank, I showed you how bad it was, can even fall more towards 34,000. Nifty Metals, though had a pullback, but metals are primary candidate for a risk of trade and can fall a lot. I have given 920 as a possible target for this stock, Tata Steel. Today it broke this 100 DMA. This is a weekly chart. If I go to the daily chart, you will see today it broke the 200 DMA. Sorry, so this is the 100 DMA. So if I make it a 200, today it closed below 200 DMA, and possibly it is heading towards a 920 kind of a level. So I say that if you want to be short, you can still be short in this. Okay, Hindalco looks very poor to me because metals are primary candidates for any risk of trade. Okay, I told about the Hindalco earlier, and today also, if you could sell Hindalco, what a good short selling candidate. Uh, Reliance, I showed you. Nifty Energy. Last is left is Nifty Infra. Pharma, I'm not giving any trades because or discussing any trades because I'm not sure that if the pharma thing will be there. And Nifty Infra also looks weak near the support. So the primary candidate are Larsen and Toubro and Reliance. So if I show you this Larsen and Toubro, you will understand that weekend had broken this kind of a, or at the edge of this kind of a channel it was following. We have to see the price action. RSI has fallen badly. So obviously, if some stocks are hitting your stop loss, and how to keep a stop loss? Many ask. So give you this thing. If you are a long-term trader, so I'm hiding all other indicators so that your mind is not confused. So I'm hiding all other indicators and only having the super trend. Nothing else. So if you are a very short-term trader, this 10 to super trend in daily chart is a good enough for you to have a exit a stock. If you are a very long-term trader, okay, so in that case, use this super trend as 10-3. Okay, if you are a long-term positions, if you don't want to exit, use this 10-3. Okay, so there was no exit call until now, and now it is the exit call. Okay, so for short-term traders tend to, for very long-term investment position, have 10-3 as your stop loss. And once this is broken in daily chart, please exit your positions, because please understand bulls and bear markets are cyclical thing, and you need to be out of your position, be in cash when your stop loss is hit. And please understand one very most important thing, that is the UP election. So if I go UP election, last time it happened in 2016. Okay, UP election, UP election, UP. Okay, so if I go to the UP election, 2017, sorry, 2017 happened, and date of result I just want to see. Okay, so date of result I want to see. Okay, so 11th February to 8th March, the election happened. So you can see the February there would be election. So we only have 2 months left for the election. Okay, so this is a very crucial time. Okay, please understand, if BJP loses this UP election, then it will be very difficult for Prime Minister Modi ji to come back to power in 2024. Now, what can happen? I'm not discussing politics. I'm discussing the impact of the political outcome on market. So, what can happen? Now, you know, there is no other big party in the country apart from BJP right now. Okay, so what can happen? That Congress may get 100 kind of seats or 80 kind of seats, and all the small parties like Samajwadi parties, Mayawati ji, uh, Mamata Bandyopadhyay, so all these smaller parties would get 20-30 seats. Okay, there is a there is a the Andhra Pradesh, in this Andhra Pradesh, in Kerala, the CPM government. So all those parties will get 20, 20, 30, 30 seats. And what will happen? The central, there will be a government created which will have no majority party. Okay. So this is a like situation where their policies will be very populist. And if BJP itself loses the election, in UP, it will become super populist in economic policies for the next 2 years of its regime. Okay, so that they can please people. And if they lose 2024, then the mix of parties will form a government, will become very populist. So all this fiscal health and all this discipline will go for a toss for some point of time, because no one will have fair majority. So all these smaller parties will look to actually impress people and try to give populist policies. In that scenario, market is set for a long-term uh, correction kind of a phase. Okay, so keep in mind, if 2 months from now, and see, you may say that this party will win, that party will win. I'm not going into policies, but is there a chance of BJP losing? Obviously, in politics, any party can win, right? And all the exit polls are saying that this is a little bit in favor of BJP, and possibly the other parties also can win 150, 160 seats. You never know this. If there is a little bit swing of 50 more seats, the other party may form government. In that scenario, you can expect Nifty to also, at least I expect in that scenario, Nifty to, if I am going to the weekly chart, pull back to around this levels. Okay, around this level, 10,000 to 12,000 level, and this can happen. So have these things in mind. So if your portfolio is stocks, if your stock portfolio is declining, try to exit your portfolio. Please try to exit your stocks in your portfolio, because you never know what can happen in politics, right? And you won't bet your hard-earned money on the political outcome. So you can re-enter later, maybe after the election results. But right now, if your stocks are hitting this, I showed you that, go to 10-3 in the daily chart, and if this 10-3, okay, in the daily chart is being breached in any instrument. For Nifty, it has already breached. For any instrument, if it is breaching this 10-3 stop loss, see, ACI kind of stocks are still in a bullish phase, okay. BEML kind of stocks are still in bullish phase. Had a great breakout, went up, and then fell down. But if a stock is not having this kind of a scenario, like if I go for a landmark kind of, so if it has already broken kind of, so please exit this stock, because you never know what a political outcome is. Irrespective of your choice of political bias, you have to be very cautious with your portfolio, because if market is to fall even 30% from here, then you can understand how the stocks would fall. Like Balaji Amines, I will show you. I will hand over to Vivek sir here. So Balaji Amines, you can see uh, had fallen more than 40%, more than 40% from the top. So even if the index is down by today, almost not very significantly, 8% or 8.5%, stocks are down 40-50%. So even if the index corrects 30% more from here, you can may see the stocks at 400, 500, 600 kind of a level. I'm not saying about particularly these stocks, but many stocks. So please remain cautious. Be in IT, which in any case we not dependent on domestic politics would do well, but for other kind of sectors, please be cautious. Now I will hand it over to Vivek sir. Hi sir, can you hear me? Hi.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Souradeep.
Thank you sir.
Thank you. I hope you guys are able to hear me. Souradeep, can you please confirm you're able to hear me?
Yes sir, you are perfectly audible. The voice is crystal clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very good evening, everyone. So, yet another day of unreasonable volatility in market, and a lot of us will be having high pumping in our heart. So, it's a good day to talk to you guys and cool you down a bit, because these are the market levels where we can expect these kind of activities. तो कुछ नया नहीं हुआ है, जो market में काफी साल से हैं, people who have been in the market, they know that these kind of things will happen, because after all market is at a level where it will demand extreme volatility. But remember, abhi market 2-2.5% gira hai, right? It looks like that market has corrected almost 1,000 points from the top, that but because the base is high now, 17,000, 18,000, these are high base levels, so expecting a 4-5% correction is not an unreasonable expectation. But do we see some kind of a sustainable weakness in the market? That is something which we'll discuss. So I'm going to discuss for a couple of minutes, maybe around 10 to 15 minutes, about what I think market is going to do. I did record, last weekend on my weekend analysis, and obviously the dollar movement was scary, and we actually became quite cautious about the market. So it was a cautiously bullish market. It is still a cautiously bullish market. The best thing to do is to absolutely have a conviction on your model and keep your nerves. अगर आप थोड़ा बहुत भी अपने nerve को weak किए, the market is going to punish you heavily. So what I'm going to do is, first 15 minutes, let me just talk about market scenario, and then I will pick few questions towards the end. So first 10 to 15 minutes मैं बात करता हूँ, फिर उसके बाद में next 15 minutes probably we can take some queries. All right. So let's talk about the market first. So where are we? So you see dollar index, and I've been telling this, that obviously dollar and Nifty has a relationship, and there could be situations when dichotomy would be there, where probably at times dollar will go up and Nifty will not correct, but then eventually that mean reversal does happen, and dollar has such a strong force to pull back Nifty that this is exactly what happened, where dollar went above 94.5, 94.3, and the moment it crossed 96, there was quite a shiver around the financial ecosystem, and that impact we did notice in a couple of currencies also, where dollar was strong. So obviously other emerging currencies will show sign of weakness, and dollar was strong because inflationary pressure and expectation of interest rates going up in US. led to dollar going strong, right? So Nifty was into a cautionary mode. Nifty this week has corrected quite significantly. Although I was expecting Nifty to probably stop around this level, which is around 17,200. But the fact that Nifty has now closed below 17,200, this is quite scary. At least I see Nifty finding it very difficult to cross 17,200. Even if it crosses 17,200, I believe 17,400 is going to be very, very critical level for Nifty. So if Nifty doesn't close above 17,400, definitely we are here for correction. Okay, and this is a healthy correction. So do I see a massive reversal in the market bullish scenario? No. Do I see a correction up to a point which could be called a significant correction? Yes. So where do I see market going? I probably would see market around these levels, 15,800 to 16,000, because this is the level where market has hold on for a long time before, when it gave a breakout and it gave a fantastic rally. It corrected, and this is probably the zone, 16,000-ish zone, where market definitely should take a very good support, given dollar index will not go up in a hurry. Everything depends upon dollar index, and I've been a person who has been so vocal, and in fact I would say that I am probably someone who has taught India the relevance of dollar in equity markets. And it may, as I always say, that it's not necessary that it will work every day, but if you make a broader 10,000 feet view about the market, then definitely dollar has an impact on the market. So 15,400 is critical. If market closes above that, I think that will be the probably the beginning of the next big rally of the market. Correction has happened, and probably the next big rally will come. 16,000 probably is the least I'm expecting market to go. I am not looking at market correcting heavily till dollar index goes up heavily. Okay, I'm repeating this. I know I'm repeating this, but it's important for me to register this thought in your mind, that if dollar does go up in a hurry, then Nifty can correct further to below 16,000. But right now, my level to watch is 16,000. Now, how do we deal with this kind of a market when we have positions? First thing first, smile. Okay, because if you smile, you will be under less pressure. Second, so people who entered market early, based on whatever model they develop, obviously people are sitting in profit, right? And as I have said in my earlier videos also, that you should be mentally prepared that you lose 20% of that profit earned in no time, because market can react and may not give you opportunity to exit. So जो भी पैसा कमाया उसका 20% जा सकता है, because last 2 साल से सब कमा रहे हैं. So you should be mentally prepared कि मेरा 20% लगेगा तो लगेगा. But the most important thing is that yes, if I suppose lose 20% of my earnings, so if you suppose made 5 lakh and you lose 20%, so a lakh, which is fine. If you can close that in 4 lakh, you are still comfortable. Now, unfortunately for people who came at the top of the market cycle, which is, every time market was giving breakout, we are seeing new players coming into the market, and they are probably seeing loss in their books. Now, for them, I would say that these are the losses which are learning costs which you are paying to the market. Please do not get disturbed with these losses, because the expectation should be very much clear that it's important for us to sustain in the market. And even if you have bought say 10 lakh and you lost 2 lakh, I'm talking about cash market trading, because in derivative, most likely with market going down, you must have made money. Because if people trade options and people trade futures, then this fall in the market was quite apparent. So they must have made money. But in cash market, definitely you are losing money. It's okay. इसमें टेंशन नहीं करने का है. Just stick on to your model and keep your thought process very clear that the strong stock has to be hold on and the weak stock has to be exited. Okay, and the process of universally defining the strong stock and the weak stock has been very, very crystal clearly explained by me. In fact, I have done a small modification in my model of RS. As I keep on saying that you need to improvise your model. You can't just expect the same model will always work all the time. So this Sunday, I'm going to conduct a 2-hour session for all my TMP students and all my webinar attendees. So people who are part of the club and they have not attended my RS webinars, please attend my RS webinar, because you will get to understand details about my RS system. And this Sunday, I'm going to conduct a session which is going to be revision of RS, plus there are some modifications which I have done, which I thought I should communicate to you. Okay, now let us talk about the problem which I am facing right now. Okay, not that I don't have a problem, but it's important for me to communicate that problem to you, that yes, I am losing money. I have lost money last 2 days and I am happy about it. I don't have pressure. Okay, you see the stocks which I have. So this is my stock universe. If you see the stocks which I have and what I'm facing, so all these blue is my positions. Okay, so these stocks I don't have positions, but what I am going to do now is any stock which is relative strong and which is showing me sign of reversal, I will enter that stock. So this is a great time to look at your basket of stock once again and see which stock is probably ready to give reversal based on its relative strength. So let me give you an example of Indian Hotel. Okay, so Indian Hotel has corrected. It's a strong stock as per my model, but on a 2-hourly chart, it's already a weak stock. Okay, but on a daily model, it's a strong stock. If the stock reverse from any of these levels, so possibly the stock will reverse from here or here or here or here. So these are the 4 key moving averages which I see, which is 55, 21, 100 and 200. So possibly the stock will reverse from these levels when you have some demand zone and a moving average support as well. So अगर यहाँ से ये reverse किया, and if there is a volume supporting that reversal, and if the stock still remains a strong stock, I will enter that stock, right? Because it's very difficult to time the market. हम ये नहीं जान पाएंगे market कब reverse करेगा, because globally किस instrument के कारण किस market पे क्या impact आएगा, it's very difficult to make an assumption. So right now, if I have a strong stock and if I see some reversal in that strong stock with volume supported, then I will make an attempt. And I will make what attempt? I will not put my full capital. So suppose if I am allocating 10 lakhs in Indian Hotel, that's suppose my mindset says that मुझे 10 लाख डालना है, तो मैं अभी सिर्फ 1 lakh या 2 lakh डालूंगा, which or 10% or 20%, so that if the price goes down further and the stock still remains strong, I will put further 10 lakh, further 1 lakh or 2 lakh. So point is that गिरते हुए मार्केट पे स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टॉक में थोड़ा थोड़ा पैसा करके डालेंगे, because we don't know when the market will reverse, because right now dollar is standing there. Obviously if dollar goes up aggressively, market may correct aggressively, so you may face mark to market losses in your cash position, but that's okay, because cash position में mark to market profit भी दिखता है, mark to market losses भी दिखता है. So if we get so much boggled down with our mark to market losses, then definitely this market will keep on troubling you. Okay, the other thing which I want to say is that your strong stocks where you have position, you see you must have made money in those stocks, right? I'll give you an example of Trident, and this is a stock which I've been talking so openly in all my communication. Look at this stock. We all I mean, I've discussed this in club and in multiple forums, that look at this stock. We entered this stock at the price of 60 and it's still a strong stock and it is continuing to be a strong stock. So I'm not selling this stock. The price was 60, now it is 57. So I made some money in this stock. So the point I'm trying to make, that if you have a portfolio of stocks, and by the way, because the stock is consistently giving me a breakout, I have built position in this stock. तो पहले यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा build किया, फिर develop किया, फिर develop किया, फिर develop किया. Now Trident represents almost 15% of my overall portfolio, right? So I have a significant size of this portfolio, and at the same time, the stock has given me return. Okay, if the stock would have given say negative signal, I would have sold the stock. But I am fortunate that this company gave me return. So point is, always remember there will be one stock which will give you abnormal return. And yes, there will be many stocks where you will lose money, but the loss, if is under control and the profit is getting multiplied, you eventually make money in market. Okay, so I'll give you an example of another stock called Reddington. Now you see Reddington, I'm not doing a stock specific discussion here, but just generally I'm saying that you see the moving averages have converged. The stock has been consolidating at this range for a long period of time, and from relative strength perspective, the stock has already gone into the plus zone. That means possibly this stock can emerge as a winner, and today the stock has outperformed. That means there is a buyer in this stock. Perfect stock. इस स्टॉक के अंदर में धीरे धीरे अपना पोजीशन बिल्ड कीजिए. आज का लो का स्टॉप लॉस को आप एक स्टॉप लॉस रखिए. फॉर एग्जांपल दिस 140 can be a stop loss for this stock, because in 2 hourly chart you see this zone has been respected by this stock every time it comes down, right? So you have one stock in your hand now. Similarly, Z Limited, look at this stock. I mean, हम लोग सिर्फ इंडेक्स को देख के मंदी की बात करने लग जाते हैं, मंदी आ गया, भागो भागो. But we, as a stock participant, we really have to understand how to play this game. Look at Z. After it gave a breakout here, look at the relative strength of this company. Even though the market is down, this company is strong, right? Unfortunately, I don't have position in this, but I'm just giving you an example, okay? Look at Motilal Oswal. The stock is strong today. It is relative strong here. So why won't I hold on to this stock? So if the market is falling, your relative strong stocks, if they are strong and if they are not falling, you should hold on to them and build further position. If your market is falling and your holdings is falling further, preferably you keep on booking your losses and keep on adding winners as strong stock. I don't believe in this theory of going too much into cash, because it's very difficult to predict the market. But yes, if you don't get enough buying opportunity, you eventually will go into cash. But I always believe that eventually, if you have a portfolio of say 10 lakh, out of this 10 lakh, 7 to 8 lakh you'll be invested anytime. वो 7 से 8 लाख आपका हमेशा मार्केट में रहेगा ही. वो स्टॉक आप शिफ्ट करते रहेंगे. कभी इस स्टॉक से आप निकलेंगे, प्रॉफिट बुक करेंगे, लॉस बुक करेंगे, कभी उस स्टॉक से आप निकलेंगे. सो दैट shuffling from one stock to other or this sector to other will keep on happening. Okay, so remember this, that people say that sir market गिर रहा है, मैं निकल जाऊं. My point is that how do you know market गिर रहा है? How do you know market नहीं recover करेगा? It's very difficult to make a judgment on the market. So my humble request is that if you are doing stock specific trading, focus more on relative strength theory. Yes, you will see 15%, 20% drawdown, but when market recovers and all those stocks recover, you will make another 30-40% out of that drawdown base. So this is how market always perform. Let me just draw this concept with you guys. It's so important for us to understand this concept. Okay, let me take the breath. So your portfolio will work like this. So it will go up, it will correct here, then it will again start the journey to go up, it will correct here, then it will go up, start journey, then it will correct here. So you don't expect your portfolio to work like this, right? It will always be like this. So even if you start from 10, eventually you can reach 1000. You can reach 1000, but there will be these moments when you have to keep your nerves. Yes, if market goes on a bearish zone, then you obviously will have to see lot of mark to market losses. For example, हो सकता है कि मेरा जितना कमाया हुआ है पिछले 1 साल में वो मुझे लॉस में दिखने लग जाए. That's where your nerve, your temperament, your ability to be there in the marketplace. Because if then you are there in the market, then you will be able to capitalize on the next big move which the market is preparing for you. Okay, so don't get upset. People who have come earlier, they are in profit. Even if you lose some profit, don't get upset. People who came late, you are in loss, no problem, because this capital which you have deployed in the market is the risk capital. It's a extra disposable capital which you are ready to lose, right? Because अगर आप खोने को ready नहीं है तो पाएंगे कैसे? This is not the capital which was meant for your bread and butter. If you wanted a bread and butter, revenue strategy, then obviously options and derivatives would have been a better choice. Intraday trading probably would have better choice. But अगर आप cash market में hold on करके काम करना चाहते हैं, so that cannot be bread and butter because there is no certainty कि every month you will make money. I hope I am making this clear to everyone because I know a lot of nerves will be hilawa today, so please do not worry about what market is doing. All right, focus on the stocks, focus on your stock universe, do your study, expand your universe, reduce the stocks which you don't want to hold on because you are finding weakness in those stocks. And obviously, further we will discuss on Sunday as part of my webinar, which is free for people who attended my previous webinar and all my TMP and club participants. All right, so let me just take few questions. We have 10 minutes. Generally, we don't take questions in this session, but since last weekend, I decided to take few questions. Okay, so Abhishek, enhanced volume जो आप use करते हैं, थोड़ा view दे दीजिए. Well, enhanced volume is the indicator which is in TradingView, which is free. It's called Traders Line Enhanced Volume, TL Enhanced Volume. इसमें कुछ नहीं देखना है, इसमें आपको सिंपल देखना है. ये ग्रीन है ना, ग्रीन अगर अच्छा है तो यहाँ पर बहुत एग्रेसिव बाइंग हुई है, और अगर पिंक बड़ा है इसका मतलब यहाँ पर एग्रेसिव सेलिंग, which is basically very simple way of figuring out is there any aggressive buying or selling which has happened. View on gold, it's a very good question. चलिए gold पे एक view बनाते हैं, because I've been very honestly gold पे ना कोई भी एक single point पे view बनाना difficult है. So what I've been doing regular SIP on gold. वो मैंने कैसे किया है, मैं MCX के अंदर में जो गोल्ड का मिनी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है उसमें कंटिन्यूअसली बाई करता जा रहा हूँ, एक लॉट एवरी वीक, और उसको रोल ओवर करता जा रहा हूँ एवरी मंथ. सो आई बिलीव दैट गोल्ड शुड डू गुड. It's a matter of time because this world is not as clear, good as it was probably earlier. तो definitely gold में मैं बहुत ज्यादा मंदी नहीं देख रहा हूँ, but let's see अभी ये range breakout करता है तो क्या होगा. But I mean, as part of your portfolio, definitely you should have some bit of gold. But do I expect this to cross 2,100? I'm not sure. Do I expect this to crash below 1,700? I'm not sure. So I think एक range में चलेगा before we see further follow-on direction from dollar, which is dependent on inflation and the interest rate. तो कोई concrete clear तक view नहीं है, तो मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैं SIP करता जा रहा हूँ because gold anyways is part of your portfolio hedging. Jigar is asking, I am looking for PCR indication for option playing, please put call ratio, thanks. Well, put call ratio, Jigar, you will get in the multiple platform who provide put call ratio. StockEdge के अंदर में हम नहीं provide करते हैं because we are not so focused on derivatives. So Define Edge is there, और बहुत सारे प्लेटफॉर्म है, फ्री में put call ratio भी मिलता है. तो if you can look at those platform, it will be easier. Can silver work as what gold is doing? Yes, possibly silver can do good because I believe silver has far more utility value than gold. So तेजी अगर खेलना है तो चांदी में खेलो, मंदी खेलना है तो भी चांदी में खेलो because it is much more slippery. Shikhar is asking a question for Vivek sir, is it a good market where it is ideal to have a stop loss based on ATR? Well, stop loss based on ATR is not a bad idea. ATR or super trend is also kind of a derivation of ATR. तो आप 2 hourly चार्ट के अंदर में ये जो मेरा सेटअप है कि RS अगर 0 के नीचे चला गया और सुपर ट्रेंड भी लाल हो गया तो आप एग्जिट कर जाएंगे. यू कैन लुक एट दिस सेटअप. एग्जांपल देता हूं मैं, इंडियन होटल. अब इंडियन होटल के अंदर में RS 0 के नीचे यहाँ पर आया और सुपर ट्रेंड भी लाल है, तो यहाँ पर आइडियली आपको इंडियन होटल एग्जिट कर जाना चाहिए था जब इसको लाल हुआ है, राइट. अब कब इंटर करेंगे हम? ऑल्दो RS एंड ऑफ द डे प्लस है, तो आई फील इसमें अभी भी बाइंग अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी, बट कब इंटर करेंगे? जब RS 0 के ऊपर आएगा और सुपर ट्रेंड भी पॉजिटिव होगा. वी मे प्रॉब्ली इंटर हियर, बट वी विल सेव फ्रॉम एनी पोटेंशियल डाउनफॉल दिस स्टॉक मे हैव because the momentum of the downfall is high. So people who want to do shorter tenure swing trading, look at this 2 hourly super trend and RS model to exit your trades. In fact, जो नए लोग मार्केट में आए ना, जो ज्यादा टाइम होल्ड नहीं कर सकते, I always recommend them कि आप 2 hourly chart देखो, because आप 2 hourly chart अगर नहीं देखेंगे तो कहीं ना कहीं आपको एक एक exit और entry का एक framework नहीं मिलेगा. You will become quite you remain quite pareshan because you may hold on to stock which is showing you losses, or you may not be able to enter the stock which are going good profit. So I would suggest that look at 2 hourly chart for early exits and re-enter when the exit is done. So listen guys, this is a market where I strongly believe that if you look at too many things, then you will be under big trouble. So please focus. One of these scanners which you can use, which you can create in StockEdge, is the list of companies who are doing fundamentally good. So one of these combo scan which I have is good. Where is it? Q2q Performance Scan, which is basically stocks which are outperforming the markets and whose quarterly performance last quarter has been very good. So if you look at these stocks, these are good stocks, and just filter it down to current period only. So these are good stocks which are still strong in the market and whose quarterly performance is good. So why don't you look at these stocks only rather than going here and there? And if these stocks are showing good chart pattern, then probably you can restrict your participation in only these stocks. So my humble submission is that please focus, because this market will give you a lot of opportunities as well as noise. The more you focus, the better you will be in terms of your mindset. Dhaval is saying that can you highlight 2 hourly, 4 hourly chart difference for cash position swing trading, Dhaval? Well, Dhaval, I've been talking about it very candidly in my YouTube channel also, that 2 hourly chart is more relevant for shorter swing trading, which is for 2 days to 10 to 15 days, and daily chart is more relevant for a very longer term swing, which is ranging from 10-15 days to 3-4 months. So 4 hourly chart I'm not using. 4 hourly is basically is almost a day, but I'm not using it. I prefer EOD chart and 2 hourly chart for EOD chart for a longer tenure swings, and 2 hourly chart for a shorter tenure swings. Okay, Ankit Bhai is saying that just to share with you, I learned a lot of things from you and I'm very thankful. As for my KK setup, we entered the sell mode in both indices and weekly chart after a long time. Let's see how it plays. All right, that's good. See, if you are there in the market, you know, it's quite, at times it's quite evident what is happening in the market. It's just that you need to react better, earlier and faster, and you also have to define the objective of your participation in the market. See, what is happening most of the time, people don't know why they are in the market. हाँ, सबसे बड़ी problem यही है. In fact, I'm going to record a video tomorrow on this to be released on Wednesday, that हम लोग क्यों परेशान होते हैं market? Why do we get so boggled down? Because we are dealing with a lot of unknowns, and already we have unknowns around our life, and on top of that, market uncertainty also adds to the unknown, right? So what we want to do is help you guys to resolve those unknowns by becoming, you know, more focused on your model, on your thesis, and you know, following our thesis or following anyone's thesis is critical, because at these times when market is volatile, uncertain, it's putting a lot of pressure on you. Unless you know your thesis properly and you don't religiously follow this thesis, you'll be prone to committing mistakes. So please, I request, do not get so bothered about all the noise which is around you. If you know your thesis, even if you lose on that thesis, let it be, because after all, in long term, if the thesis works, it will work for you as well. So people who have, someone is asking, how do we register for a webinar? Well, if you are a TMP member, you'll be getting the link of the webinar. If you have attended my RS webinar earlier, which I presume all the club members have attended, and people who have not attended my RS webinar earlier, please attend the RS webinar and you will be getting the link for this new webinar. This is a free of cost webinar for people who are already part of my RS working. All right, guys, so thank you so much for attending this one. I will always suggest you to remain positive, be calm. We are there to help you. StockEdge Social is such an amazing platform. Use it for your advantage. TMP is such a brilliant course. Take advantage of that whole ecosystem which we have created for you. And people who are part of StockEdge and who are not part of StockEdge Social yet, I would sincerely recommend you to join this community. This is turning out to be a great community for people who are serious about market. By the way, last week we have added currency and commodity also club, and we have a full-time analyst who is continuously adding value. Sanando is continuously adding value and telling you and informing you more about the commodity. So do join this page as well. I can see how many people have joined. I can see 78 members have joined, which is quite less. So guys, join this. Even though you don't want to trade commodity currency, not to be bothered. At least this knowledge is so important for you to become a long-term multi-asset trader. Chalo guys, thank you so much. Good night, and have a great weekend, and have a smile on your face, and take care of your family, and let not your family know that probably you have lost money today. When you go home, keep that smile on. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.